So a few days back, a fellow human being sent me a message asking a question or two, and that made me, of course, feel famous. um, I looked up because I wanted to see if my room light was on, which shouldn't be on, and it's not. I'm not crazy, like looking in weird directions. So a fellow human being that goes by the name of Water Bottle, which I find fascinating because I've seen Water Bottle commenting on a few of my videos, and I don't know why. I like that for whatever reason. So Water Bottle asked me a couple questions. The first one is he's wondering, how did I learn to play guitar? Whether I learned by theory, so studying theory first, or naturally or empirically, I guess. And the other one is he tells me that he can jam to backing tracks, which is cool, but he wants to move on and do his own jams, so that's cool too. And I got it. So let's take it apart. How I learned to play guitar. I think that's a great question, and I was very fortunate because my father is a guitar player, and I was even more fortunate to grow up with my two parents at home. So yeah, he's a guitar player. He's a very good guitar player, and he was my mentor. And I want to do a video about mentoring because I find it fascinating and rare these days in comparison to 200, 300 years ago, which was much more common to learn that way. So he was my mentor, and I learned, you could say empirically, although my father taught me very crucial stuff. Like, for example, he taught me my first chords, open chords. He taught me open chords first, which he, based on his experience, assumed that was the way to go, the first thing you should learn. And I was sort of young. I was 11 or something, so my hands were a bit smaller. So he taught me that. Of course, I was fueled. I wanted to learn. In fact, he didn't teach me anything before I showed interest and I asked him, basically. I wanted to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven. So he taught me a few open chords, D, A, E. I remember those. Maybe G as well. I don't know. And of course, what a mentor can do is, and I'm so long-winded here, so if you don't like it, well, goodbye. But and by the way, if you do like it, do the click the button and subscribe and share and all that. That's good if you do like it. If not, what are you doing? Just leave. So yeah, open chords. I know this is not what the question is about, but it's just a cool story, and honestly, I feel like a warm feeling remembering it. So open chords, and then of course what a mentor can do is a mentor can give you the shortcuts, and I think it can save you, if not years, months of work on your own. So not fully empirically, not fully theory based. My father taught me the essential knowledge, and from that point on, for the next 10 years, it was mostly empirical, listening to records, from Green Day to Red Hot Chili Peppers, then later The Doors, Jimi Hendrix, Zeppelin, all the way through, I don't know, Clapton, I don't know, Cream, it doesn't matter. But then I started learning a bit of theory. I don't know much. I know chords and I know a few scales. So you can say empirically. That was a really long answer for a simple question. What was the other question? Anyway, mentoring is so interesting, such an interesting topic. So that's how I learned guitar, learn how to play. How do you go about writing music, your music? Well, I've wrote a lot of songs. I've started writing a lot of songs. I have like 100 demos or pseudo unfinished songs, which I really like myself. If anything, I do those for myself, and I do listen to my recordings. It's funny how actors and musicians often say that they don't watch their movies or listen to their records. I find that very strange. I don't know, why would you do that? Maybe actors, I get that, because they are not sort of they're not fully in control. I hate saying those meaningless things. So actors are not fully in control, but musicians are more in control, at least. And if you write, record, and produce, you're fully in control. And why wouldn't you like to listen to that? That's interesting. I do music because I want to record the type of sounds or music that I like to hear. So it only makes sense to listen to it afterwards. Anyway, I do listen to that. I'm the only one. And on this YouTube channel, I published a few songs, I think 3 songs before, under the name of Music Express, which is a very specific way of writing music. And that's what I want to share with you. Water Bottle, Mr. Water Bottle. Music Express, if you Google that or YouTube that or look for that on YouTube, that's a very interesting way of writing music. Music Express is all about doing songs in under a day, from beginning to end. Sometimes mixing takes a bit more, but generally speaking, 24 or 30 hours. So the way that I do those is quite fun to me. So what I do is I record. I do one channel for a guitar, just a guitar, through pedals, through whatever your guitar, and then I use Apple Logic to. I use a plugin there that's called Drummer. And Drummer it has like grooves that you can customize using a nice visual interface. So I start changing the tempo and choosing loops or grooves, and then when I like something there, I start playing. And when I think something's going on, like the tone and the tempo and the groove are interesting together, I start recording. Like I duplicate that groove, for 20 minutes or whatever, and then so it can be 20 minutes long, and I record, and during that time I try to do interesting things on the guitar that are sort of consistent or that are interesting with each other. So I can show you that. I'll cut here and I'll show you. I'll just do it quickly. So that's a sort of interesting sound, right? You can be creative and sort of mix it if you want. So like I'll add something I don't know, man, overdrive. Something that, you know, a sound that you like. That's how I sort of verbalize it. And then just play something. That sounds good. So you have a theme going on. And you know, you have recorded that part already, which is that's one of the keys here. You don't have to think about the parts that you do. You just play and enjoy yourself, and everything is getting recorded. Later you can chop it up. So once you have been playing with this pattern for, until you're bored with it, think about what could sound good. So I know that after A minor, you could do G. Generally speaking, it's gonna cause that tension. It's like it resolves it nicely. Or you can do D minor or something. Very sad and dramatic. So try it out. So you never stop. You just keep playing, and you can go back to your first part, and then go back to the second one, and maybe a third. Whatever. So by the end of the exercise, you have a long guitar track with a loop playing underneath, and I usually keep those records, those like the guitar parts. I usually keep them. So now you take a break, put your headphones on or whatever you like, and you start chopping and mixing and matching, and off you go. Then you start layering. You play bass, or you play another guitar, or 10 more guitars, or whatever you want. You can sing, you can do whatever you want, but that gives you sort of the mood, which is extremely important. It gives you the key or keys for the song, and it's just so fun to do. It's just playing, and the facing the unpredictable, improvising your way around is just very enjoyable. And that's how I write, certainly for Music Express, but definitely that's how I generally write. And I don't know. I hope that's cool. So, dear water bottle, thank you so much for your question. You made me feel important, and I hope this is helpful. Yeah, bye-bye.